Imagine carrying an invisible weight, a burden of unseen struggles, unhealed wounds and silent stress, loss, trauma, financial strain, relationship breakdowns. These moments can crush our spirits, while our minds, often hardwired to focus on the negative, keep us trapped in cycles of anxiety and despair.
So many people suppress all their emotions and basically the suffering in silence. And I've seen how it can be traumatic and being able to unload them bags. Because there's so many people out there that are carrying bags. They keep on stuffing things in those bags, and not being able to offload that trauma is detrimental to their mental health.
But what if there were tools to help us respond to life's challenges in healthier ways?
So there are tools, resiliency tools, that do work and do help. Whether you're an emergency service worker and you've built tons of trauma year after year after year of being in that profession, and you've stuffed them into these bags, these imaginary bags that we carry, they can become so heavy, they can become so burdensome. What if there were tools that you can implement in your life, and there are, unload those burden bags, put them down, and now you can walk through life a bit easier. Caring about your mental health and your mental wellness is a sign of strength, not of weakness. So many people are ashamed, embarrassed to admit they may have to pause and need some help. That is admirable. That is something that we should shine a light on, because if we don't take care of our mental health, everything else falls apart. So why wouldn't we focus on it? We don't have to suffer in silence.
Building resiliency is not a quick fix, but a set of learned skills that empower people to process difficult emotions in healthy, productive ways. At Resilient Minds on the Front Lines, participants from all walks of life, whether in professional careers, personal journeys, or transitional phases, arrive unsure and guarded, but leave as friends, family, and stronger, more resilient individuals.
Science has to play a role in it, right? Because if we're going to try to change people, it has to change not just from a topical level, but it has to change from the way their brain and body work. That's really the only way to make it sustainable over time. Because we have patterns that we develop over time. Some work for us, and that's great. We can make that foundational to our resiliency. Some we recognize need to change, and that's also part of our resiliency. So resiliency and the idea of bouncing not just in place, but bouncing forward when something happens. I look at it as, again, a recognition of patterns, but I also do caution that we don't want to look at it through the lens of toxic positivity, because it's implying that, oh, I go through this hard time and growth is going to happen. There's a big piece of intentionality that has to happen. There's skills that have to be put in place. There's behaviors that need to change in order for us really truly to move forward in a meaningful way.
Trainings like this stand out because they create a safe space where participants not only learn these tools, but experience a transformation. They build connections and understand they are not alone.
Going through the event is not the time to change your belief system. It's important to have those skills in place prior to the event. And life is coming to a theater near you, there's no doubt about that. And whether it's finances, whether it's health, whether it's your own personal relationships, whatever that is, it's important to have that belief system in place prior to, so that when you go through and come out on the other end, you're in the post-traumatic growth side of things and not the stress side of things.
Resilient Minds on the Front Lines is a nonprofit organization founded by Michael and Diana Pellegrino. Inspired by personal loss and a mission to make a difference, the organization provides tools and training to help individuals develop resiliency skills and prioritize mental wellness.
That's kind of the secret sauce of what we do, right? Whether it's an in-person training or a virtual training, we're really teaching people life skills. And so things that people can do on a daily basis to prepare them for those challenges. When those challenges happen, adopting what's called a growth mentality and making sure that rather than fall into the dark hole of depression, anxiety, suicide ideations, rather we learn and grow from those negative experiences. Think of yourself with carrying a bag. We're really good at shoving stuff in our bag. And the problem is we fill it and we never offload it. And so we got to get another bag. And we start filling that. And then we got to get another bag. One of the very first things when you meet me, if you go to one of our trainings, is I will have probably close to 13 bags wrapped around my head. And the significance of that, if people don't remember anything else, they remember the visual, which is all the bags that they're carrying, right? Some from stuff that happened to them as a child, all the way through, for the first responder community, the traumas and the stress that they onboard on a daily basis that normal people don't deal with, the cumulative effect of that, and how ultimately at a certain point the human body is not designed and the human spirit is not designed to carry that much weight. And so the purpose of this program is simply to teach people to either not pick up the bag, or if I still have that bag, find a different way, like a roller, instead of carrying it. And the one thing that's really important is that everything we do is intentional or mindful.
We both have in-person training and online training, and I can tell you that what we've seen with the in-person training is incredible from day one, when everyone walks in a little reserved. What exactly is this training? I'm not quite sure about this. And then we see them on day 3, and they're a cohesive group, all walks of life, all different backgrounds, but yet now they have a common bond because they've experienced and heard things with each other that now bond them together. They're friendships that are now gonna last a lifetime.
It was life-changing in a couple of different ways. In my line of work, we are bombarded with constant stress. Every day is a life or death situation. So when you live a life in and around crisis constantly, it does some work on your mental. And resiliency is something that we have got to get. So when I took the class, I was given the tools for home maintenance. I was given resiliency. I was given the tool of gratefulness. And that's what resiliency is, getting through adversity.
You do not have to struggle. Prioritizing your mental health should always be in the forefront for everyone. And creating that resilient lifestyle is something that everyone can achieve. That's the beauty of it. At Resilient Minds, practicing the tools that we teach is a path forward to living a life of joy and happiness.